Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds. It's a celebration!
Hello, everyone!
Hello!
My name is David Bell.
My name is Tom Ryman.
And we just watched 199 movies in our 199 movie special.
This is our 200th episode.
Sure, whatever.
So the word just in we just watched is doing a lot of heavy lifting in this.
Yes, this is true. Hi. So, yeah, folks, we're up to 200 episodes of We Just Watched, as I heard somewhere from Tom just now.
Yes.
And we thought it'd be fun because, like, what movie do you pick for your 200th movie? Exactly, Tom.
I don't know,
You can't. I mean, we are going to have next week, there will be, or Monday, there'll be a 200th movie, which I guess is...
I guess it should probably be Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, right?
All right, if you want it. Well, what's out this weekend? Isn't like Spider-Man?
Yeah, The Devil All the Time.
South?
The Devil All the Time is out this weekend.
I don't know. The point is, for our 200th episode, we thought it would be fun to go through all our past episodes to really stand back and appreciate how many goddamn movies we've watched. Mm-hmm. And see if we even remember some of them.
I am willing to bet we won't remember like a third of them, but we'll see.
We'll see. Maybe we can figure out what the worst one was and what the best one was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's subjective and it's weird to have a best and worst movie, but for the sake of entertainment, perhaps we can pull that out of our asses.
Yeah, maybe we can force it. Yeah.
And so I want to start with a question for you, Tom, that I looked up. And the question is, what do you think is the first movie we covered?
For We Just Watched, I think it was Winchester.
I thought so too, but you would be wrong.
Really?
Yeah, the first movie and the first podcast that we put out was for the Cloverfield Paradox.
That's right.
Yeah, and I want to start right there because I was really struggling to remember what this movie was about.
Okay, it's about a bunch of dickheads in a space station that encounter like an alternate reality where like reality begins to slide together. And then in the meantime, there's like an alien invasion on Earth. It was another movie. I think we came to the conclusion. Well, we came to the conclusion that it was very bad.
Yes, it was terrible. I remember that.
Yeah, it continues to be to this day.
I remember there was a worms in a guy.
Sure, probably.
You don't remember the worms? Mm-mm. What was interesting about the worms to me is that we later, not soon after, would cover Annihilation, a movie with worms in a guy. That's
true.
Done so much better than this movie.
Yeah,
this one the guy like pukes out worms.
I do not recall that.
Hmm. That's fair.
Yeah. So
they were in a space station.
So we decided this movie was assballs, and also that it was clearly a movie that was wholly unrelated to Cloverfield, and they just smushed Cloverfield into it like a wet worm.
In a man's stomach.
In a man's stomach to sell it. That's what I remember.
Yeah, I remember somebody's limb gets cut off it's moving around.
I believe that's Chris O'Dowd.
Okay. See, I couldn't tell you a single person that was in this movie. All right, so they're not on a spaceship. They're on a space station. Don't they encounter another sun or something? Or I
don't know.
It's like something where they go to a different dimension, like you said, where they're in a different position on the Earth.
Something like that. I think they find somebody who I think is Elizabeth Debicki, but I could be wrong.
Right. I remember that they had it was okay. I think the station was called Cloverfield or something like that. I remember that because they had they had like patches on them that was for like a different name, because clearly the space station stuff was shot for a different movie, and then they shot all the like on Earth stuff because that's the only thing that makes it Cloverfield. Because I remember they're on a space station, a bunch of weird shit is happening. It's like Event Horizon almost.
A little bit, yeah.
And then they keep like having this flimsy communication with a guy on Earth who's like, stuff is happening down here too, that seem incredibly unrelated. And then at the very end, they like eject down at Earth. And the guy's like, no, don't come down here. And like a giant Cloverfield monster bursts from the clouds.
Yeah, like a monster claw comes up. It was dumb.
It's very dumb.
We've already spent too much time talking about it.
That's how we started.
That's how we began.
And then our second movie was, in fact, Winchester.
Was Winchester. That's right. Okay, that's the first movie we went to the theaters to see for this.
Yes. And that's also I'm struggling with. I know it's about the Winchester house. I know that it's like Helen Mirren, right?
Yeah, Helen Mirren plays the Winchester whoever, the matriarch. Right,
and there's the scruffy guy.
Jason Clarke.
Jason Clarke, thank you. John Connor.
I believe he's like an opium addict in it.
Yeah. I remember him being addicted to something. I don't remember the plot at all. I know that he goes there for reasons, like to write a book or something. I don't know.
Some fucking thing. I remember I remember she's being haunted by the ghost of
all the ghosts.
Yeah, like people who were killed by Winchester rifles. And so like they defeat, like the ghost's weakness is getting shot with a Winchester rifle.
Yes. I forgot that they just shoot the ghost.
They just shoot the ghost.
I remember it ends real stupid in like an attic and there's all this CGI.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. And I don't remember a single scary thing from the movie. No. I don't remember a single memorable moment.
Nope. Other than the ghost getting shot at the end. That's like literally the only thing I remember about it.
Right. I guess, okay. Next film is Black Panther, which I seem to remember.
Yeah,
I feel like we don't need to talk about it.
I remember Black Panther pretty vividly. Wow, Black Panther was that long ago, huh?
Yeah, followed by Annihilation.
Annihilation rips. That's a good movie.
Yeah. So we had some good times, and then Death Wish came along. I was not
You
there
were not
for this.
present for that. That was me and Ganser did that.
So I can say with complete confidence, I don't remember this movie.
It's very bad. I think the consensus that Ganser and I came to, which I also believe there might have been audio problems with this episode. I can't remember.
I don't know.
I remember us recording it like huddled together in my apartment. I forget what you were doing. You were gone.
Yeah, it was something. Who the hell knows? Maybe I was sick.
Who can say? And it was not clear what Eli Roth's intention was with the film. Like the movie seems to make both the point that gun violence is bad and that gun violence rules. So it's really impossible to determine how he feels about the topic.
My guess is that because it's Death Wish, like to make a modern Death Wish would be to subvert what Death Wish had become, right? Which is just jacking off for like older, probably conservative leaning men.
Yeah,
like the Death Wish series is a ghastly series.
Yeah, you would have to make.
You'd make him the villain,
right? Or you would make it James Wan's death sentence, which is more in line with the original Death Wish novel, in which he destroys himself and the rest his surviving family on his pursuit for vengeance.
Right. I was thinking you could do something really cool where like it's from the point of view of somebody who's like, like from a very poor family who has to resort to theft. And like his friends or her friends are all dying because of this guy, and like the media keeps like really boasting him, like conservative media. Yeah. And like you could do a thing where like you're in a nightmare, and this guy is like Jason Voorhees, and like people are like, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? And it's like he's fucking killing us.
Yeah, he's shooting purse snatchers in the back.
Yeah, he's a monster. But yeah
he's a fucking goblin.
They were probably walking that line where they're like, well, we should say something modern about this, but it's Death Wish. We can't, we got to rope in all those Death Wish fans.
Yeah, but it's Death Wish, so we still have to feel good about him murdering people.
Right. Yeah, I'm never going to see that movie, Tom.
You shouldn't. I mean, I think it's free on Prime, but it's not. It's just bad. I mean, every Death Wish movie is bad.
Sure. Would you believe we went from Death Wish to A Wrinkle in Time?
Shit. Man, I forgot about that movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Oprah. I remember giant Oprah.
Yeah, Titanic Oprah.
Yeah. And she I
Oprah
think she
the
gets
size of the cosmos.
Yeah, she gets her face nuzzled at one point. She's just a big Oprah. I remember Big Oprah. I think Chris Pine is in it. And he goes missing. Mm-hmm. It's Missing Father. I think it's Hey Kids, Your Dead Father. He's fine. It's that type of movie. And it's got Big Oprah and Jesus. I remember some sort of dragon, like a Neverending Story style, where they're like flying. Aren't they flying in that?
Yeah, Reese Witherspoon and Mindy Kaling, I think, are the other two witches.
Wow.
Michael Pena shows up in there as like some creepy dude eating sand.
Yeah. What was that film?
I don't know. It was.
Okay,
I've not read any of the books. I remember the movie. Unfortunately, not being very good, and it was kind of like I remember there was a distracting element to it where just the way it was edited together, there wound up being like 50% of the film's dialogue was delivered off screen.
Oh yeah,
you remember that? It was like really noticeable. Like it would cut away to another character while a character was still speaking. So frequently that it sticks out in my mind 2 years later.
Right.
Where it's just man, half of this movie is delivered off screen.
I'm trying to remember what it was about. That period between Bruce Banner becoming the Hulk, and you imagine what that's like in his head. That's what this movie is for me. Like, it's a bunch of shapes and images. Okay, we had kids. I think they were into science. They lost their dad.
He disappeared. Like, he's like some sort of astrophysicist or something, and he found a wrinkle in time, I believe.
Okay, that checks out.
And gets, like, stuck in another dimension or something. It's something like that. And then,
like, Oprah shows up in their backyard, and she's gigantic.
And she's
massive
Oprah, like a bouncy castle Oprah. Just huge.
Yeah. And they have to go to this like faraway magic land to get their dad, and then there's like a bunch of horse shit between then and them getting their dad. Like, I think there's a bad guy. One imagines
Michael Pena is a bad guy, but we don't see.
I don't think he's the bad guy.
I don't think so either. I don't think we run into him until like the last third of the movie. I don't remember who the actual, like, if there is a main villain or not.
And then I think that when they find the dad, he's like, it's like the wife in What Dreams May Come. Like, he's like bewitched by his...
No.
No?
That happens to the little brother.
Okay, so it does happen.
Yeah, it happens to the younger brother. I forget what his name is. Something Wallace? Or
Sure.
I don't remember.
Marcellus?
Sure.
Is it Marcellus Wallace?
It's Marcellus Wallace, yeah. No, it's not.
Okay, I think that's all we're going to get out of this.
Yeah. We can't do this for 196 more movies. So I mean, we need to move it along.
We could, Tom. I'm skipping the ones that are like, oh, I remember. Like Tomb Raider. The next one after that was the Tomb Raider remake. And that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we both found that movie delightful.
But after that comes Pacific Rim Uprising, Tom.
Fuck.
I know. Can you even imagine watching that movie?
No, I do remember that the opening sequence is like this weird comic montage.
Really?
And he mentions something about living in a crappy apartment, and it shows the outside of an apartment building that literally says crappy apartment, CRPI.
Oh.
And I recognize that because
that's in Culver City.
It's in Culver City, like 3 blocks away from where we lived.
I forgot because it's not the apartment he lives in. He says, like, living in some crappy apartment.
Right.
And they do, like, a Guy Ritchie cut to
right,
that.
Exactly. It was a weird gag. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I remember they're, like, fighting on a mountain at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there was something that like undermined the first movie, like about how there needs to be two people. Like I think that's like one person is controlling one. I mean, I could barely tell you about the first Pacific Rim, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't. I think I believe they kill off Rinko Kikuchi's character.
Okay, were they in the first one?
Yeah, she was the Japanese woman that
right.
What's his name? Jax Teller teams up with Charlie Hunnam.
Was there other people from the first one in this?
Nope.
Okay.
No,
okay.
It was John Boyega.
John Boyega's in that?
He's the main character.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's before he was John Boyega.
I mean, it was right after he was John Boyega. Star Wars had come out like...
This is blowing my mind.
Yeah.
He could not save that movie, apparently.
No. Last Jedi had come out like the previous December.
Whoa.
So we were already 2 Star Wars deep when this came out.
Good God. Pacific Rim Uprising.
Yeah. I mean,
I could not tell you what is...
I don't know. I couldn't even tell you what a single robot from the movie looks like, or what any of them. Like these movies pass right through me. I don't give a shit about these movies.
This is going to be like us slowly regaining memories.
Yeah,
because as we get closer to now, we'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that. But my God, I can't. Pacific Rim Uprising, what a nightmare.
Mm-hmm. I think Scott Eastwood is in it.
Okay.
Clint's boy.
Yeah. After that, we stuck on Ready Player One, which we just watched.
We just rewatched that like a weekend or two ago. And man, I had forgotten most of it.
I bet if you went back and listened to this episode, I probably liked it more, seeing it in theaters coming out of it, than now. Watching it the other day. I
remember, I think we did that one with Dan. And
you are correct.
I don't think any of us liked it.
Oh, okay.
I really don't think we did.
Well, then props to my former self too.
I mean, I think we liked aspects of the treasure hunting thing. I think we all thought that like the race was nice. Cool and like the shining part was cool, but that the rest of the movie was just kind of a wet fart.
Yeah, and it is. It's got one of the most shockingly cynical endings.
Uh-huh.
Which I know we've talked about privately, but if you do remember the ending of Ready Player One, the movie sets up a dystopian wasteland where, like, there's the bandwidth wars or something that happens, which I assume killed just millions. Mm-hmm. And there's, like, climate change, and everybody's living in awful fucking world.
The phrase, the bandwidth wars, just makes me want to do the jerk-off motion so hard that my wrist snaps off.
Yeah. And then, and the pain from that would at least make you momentarily forget about the bandwidth wars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would erase it. It would blank it from my mind for a few blessed seconds.
Right. So the film sets up like the world sucks and everybody is descending into VR. And then it's about, Ben Mendelsohn trying to like get this company that's like created the Oasis, the VR world, and Mr. Player One, whatever his name is, at the end wins the company and becomes like rich. Mm-hmm. And then at the end they show him in a nice apartment with his girlfriend, and he's like, and we made it free for everybody, and every Tuesday you have to log off because you got to enjoy the world. And that's how it ends, and it's like, I was talking to you and Cody about it. That's literally how the Black Mirror episode ends, where everybody is in that dystopian world where they're on treadmills and the guy gets his at the end and no one else has gotten better. Like he literally just improves his life at the end and says like, you know what, everybody, you can't do VR Tuesdays. Life is worth enjoying. And it's like, yeah, for you, you're
mine's
rich.
Not. I live in an RV tower.
Yeah, like everybody else. It's literally a guy getting rich and then being like, problem solved. Mm-hmm. And then that's it. And it's like, holy shit. That is that is a disgusting ending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
The movie's garbage.
What a garbage movie.
The most memorable thing about Ready Player One is that poster where Ty Sheridan's leg is impossibly long. Like he's got like a spider's limb. You remember it?
No.
Where it's like him climbing up the side of his RV tower, and like the artist flunked perspective.
Oh, the poster.
Yeah, the poster. Yeah, his leg is way too long. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's Ben Mendelsohn getting kicked in the crotch.
Getting kicked in the balls.
I don't know. Have you seen that?
Wearing a haptic feedback vest.
Yeah. You've seen it, though, right? You've all seen it?
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, look it up.
Look it up.
After that, we did A Quiet Place.
Uh-huh.
Which, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
It was fine. I remember we disagreed about it. I enjoyed it, but you didn't like it.
Yeah, I didn't like it. And I feel like, quality of the movie aside, history is on my side about John Krasinski, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all know.
Which doesn't have much to do about the quality of it.
We all know the truth.
Yeah. After that, we watched WrestleMania 34, which, I mean, that's just timeless.
Yeah.
That's not a movie.
I don't remember what happened in it, but I remember we had a good time.
Yeah, technically not a film, so I guess this is only our 198th.
Shut up.
But,
that counts.
Yeah. Definitely.
They're actors
Anybody who says
roles.
otherwise. Yeah, you're right.
It's cinematic.
It's like a movie. It is definitely cinematic. That was a new WrestleMania, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like that was a recent WrestleMania?
Yeah,
34?
That would have been 2018.
Okay, I don't know how many WrestleManias there are, Tom.
I don't know. I'm just going by the year in which we started this podcast.
Oh, okay. It wasn't like the 99 one with Stone Cold versus The Rock.
No, it was not Stone Cold versus The Rock.
That shit's cinematic.
If Stone Cold fought The Rock in 2018, we would still be talking about it.
Yes. That would be all we talk about.
Every episode we produced of all of our series would just be us talking about that.
Mm-hmm. For like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And it would be different every time.
Mm-hmm. It would be all new content, all exciting, all new insight.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we watched Rampage, which...
it's The Rock, yeah.
Yeah, speaking of The Rock, I remember that being aggressively fine. And you know what? I think we've watched it recently.
We have, and it remains aggressively fine.
Yeah.
It's his San Andreas buddy, Brad Payton, directed that movie. And both Rampage and San Andreas have a quality that I appreciated, and that they're both shockingly violent.
Yes, I enjoy the violence.
Yeah, both films are like, this is PG-13, but we're going to get some mileage out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're super fun movies. If you haven't seen Rampage, it is a really fun watch. Like, that's worth watching.
Yeah. Home video is a good way to watch it, because there's some boring stretches, but man, when shit happens, it happens at 178 miles per hour.
Happens hard.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. After that, we did Super Troopers 2.
Oh, right.
Super Troopers 2. Right. You just remember that movie existed, didn't you?
I did.
I remember liking it, but I also never watched it again.
Neither did I, but I remember laughing so hard I couldn't breathe at the scene where Farva dies. Like he has a car accident and dies for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, spoilers. He's fine.
Right, he comes back, but like there's a scene in which he just dies.
It's very funny because
it's like a thing.
It's like a moment of excitement where he's like off to do something, immediately crashes into a tree and then dies.
They have to restart his heart.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh man, that guy. Yeah, I remember that was my takeaway from that, was like everything that guy does is brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it still has Super Troopers energy. I don't know. The Broken Lizard guys, they've never done me wrong. Not once.
That's fair. I haven't seen all their movies, but
Slammin' Salmon, great.
I love the Slammin' Salmon. Yeah.
Yeah. Beer Fest, terrific.
That's one
Club
I haven't.
Dread?
That's one I haven't seen.
Wonderful. Yet. Oh man, Beer Fest is great. So after Super Troopers 2, we watched Avengers Infinity War. Do you remember this, Tom? Do you remember this film?
I do. I remember. What was our guest? Cody, and did we have another guest?
Marina. That's
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw the midnight showing of this, and I remember we were leaving the theater, and it ends with the little title card, Thanos will return in Avengers. They didn't say the title yet, because I remember Endgame was a reveal, but they were like, Thanos will return. And I remember Cody very loudly saying, oh, good, great.
No shit.
Oh, good. Perfect. Because
Yeah.
the theater was dead silent after the ending of Infinity War.
Oh yeah, that's a hell of an ending.
Mm-hmm.
God, I gotta watch those again. Like
I haven't seen Endgame since, but I've rewatched Infinity War. It's really good.
It's
It's surprisingly well paced for a movie as dense and as long as it is.
I'm very cynical about Marvel films, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
But Infinity War and Endgame, in terms of rewatching, I put them right there with the Lord of the Rings, where like I spend a few days watching them, and I love a good epic, and they count. They're an epic.
It's pretty freaking epic, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Lord of the Rings is better, but but like they're very different,
more
films.
substantive, but yeah.
But what I put them on that same like shelf where I'm like, sometimes I want to watch like a fucking 2-part, 3-part epic, and
I need to rewatch Endgame. I haven't seen it since the theater.
Oh yeah, it's satisfying. After that, we watched an equally epic film called Deep Blue Sea 2, which, boy, Tom, I couldn't tell you anything about this movie.
Nope. I remember the sets all looked cardboard. It was very clearly the same room. They just put a different light in it.
Yeah, I can tell you that the third one's delightful.
The third one's awesome. The second one sucks my asshole.
Yeah, we've said it before. The big takeaway to take from Deep Blue Sea 2 is to simply skip it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
After that, all right, here's where it gets really cloudy for me, Tom.
Sure.
We watched a movie called Anon.
Oh, yeah, that's the one. That's the Netflix one with Clive Owen and Amanda Seyfried. Remember?
Okay, sort of.
It's like I don't know. It's like in like the 2 weeks from now version of the future. And she's some kind of hacker or anti-government activist or something where she like
they all have like
deletes herself from like surveillance and stuff, so she technically doesn't exist. That's all I can pull.
It sounds exhausting.
That is all I can pull about this movie.
I remember they have like Google Glass,
something like that.
Their eyeballs are Google Glass.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. That was a slow week.
Yeah,
because theaters were open that week.
We didn't have shit. Yeah, there wasn't a pandemic. We could have gone to the movies, and we chose not to.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip over the next couple, which is Deadpool 2 and Solo, because
Yeah.
I mean, do you have anything special to say about either of those?
Nope.
Okay. Next one was Upgrade. And
Upgrade's awesome.
Yeah, we were rock hard for Upgrade.
Yeah, Upgrade's sweet. And then, I mean, Lee Whannell keeps killing it. Like, he's doing Invisible Man next.
Keeps bringing the hits.
That was sweet.
After that is Hereditary, which we split on, I believe.
Yeah, I was pretty down on it. I thought it.
Wait, sorry, I was thinking of Midsummer. I don't remember Hereditary at all.
You don't?
Well, no, I mean our conversation about it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't remember our conversation about it. I remember I was down on it, and I'm still down on it. Like I think it has.
I remember.
Yeah.
It's in terms of theater experience, it had one of my favorite theater experiences moments where
she's up in the corner. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like silence, and one person just went, "Oh fuck!" in the theater.
Yeah.
But like, what's interesting about that movie is every time I rewatch it, it's way darker. Like the part where she goes into her mom's room and can barely make her out. Whenever I watch that on Amazon, you can't see her at all.
Yeah.
It's very weird. Someone needs to do like a remastering of that movie. Because like some of the creepiness is lost, I think, when you watch it.
And the reason to watch Hereditary is the imagery.
Yes, that's why it's pretty important. Yeah,
they really need to fix that.
After Hereditary, we went on to Incredibles 2.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember. I remember it being fine. Like it felt too little, too late.
Right. I remember it being very fine, and we came to the conclusion that it was a little disappointing that this was the movie we got after almost 20 years. It was like, well, that was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
If it was like a couple of years after, it would have been better.
Yeah, it was just fine.
Yeah.
It was kind of the same story. They just flipped Mr. and Mrs. Incredible.
Right. we went on to watch Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, a movie we watched recently, Tom.
We did.
And that remains a real piece of shit.
It is so fucking bad.
Yeah.
And there is a bizarre amount of people at my current workplace that will defend this movie, and I don't understand it. It's a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's wildly inconsistent in the way the animals behave.
Yeah.
It's dumb. It's a lopsided movie.
Yes. I like the idea and the energy behind turning it into a slasher movie, but they use the same slasher trick like 3 or 4 times in the film.
Yep. Also, if you're going to turn it into a slasher movie, make it a creative slasher movie. Maybe make it just a slasher movie. I think a lot of the problems with the Jurassic Worlds is scale now, right? It's
scale, and nobody knows how the fuck to make a movie, apparently.
Yes, and the directing is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially with the first Jurassic World. But yeah, they're very disappointing films. After that, we watched the Hurricane Heist, Tom.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah, which I watched recently. We watched that with Adam Todd Brown.
We did. We got Chinese food at Adam's apartment and watched it.
That was nice. That was
delightful.
A good time.
That was delightful, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember enjoying that movie for being like an Emmerich dumb, dopey action movie. Sure.
Watching it again recently, because I did rewatch it the other day, it is shockingly like stretching for time throughout the movie. There's a lot of parts where it's just like, man, just get to the heist or just get to this thing, where they're just sort of like dicking around in town. His friend is named Breeze. It's got both Toby Kebbell and the dad from The Witch in it, both being wasted. It's got clubber hackers. Remember the clubbing hackers?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Yeah, I still don't know what their deal was.
I mean, it's probably it's sexual for sure.
Oh, definitely. That's their fetish. Hacking is their fetish.
Yeah, they're just rock hard.
The hurricane makes a skull face several times.
It does. Yeah.
It's unclear whether or not that's in Toby Kebbell's head. I'm assuming it is.
Or if it's some sort of pirate curse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Because, it shows up and their dad gets run over by a silo.
He sure does.
It's the funniest fucking thing.
Yeah.
Because what they're trying to do is Twister, right?
Yeah.
And Twister, when the dad dies, it's kind of eerie because he just vanishes. He just gets sucked away.
He gets carried away, yeah.
And this one, they run him over with a silo like a cartoon coyote.
Right.
It's very funny.
Right. It's like trying to make the impact of the murder of Bruce Wayne's parents hit harder by having the mugger shoot them in the face with a bazooka.
Exactly. That's not, it's worth a rewatch, but honestly, just go watch Hard Rain.
Yeah,
with Randy Quaid.
With villainous Randy Quaid
and Christian Slater.
Yes, Christian Slater, Morgan Freeman,
and Morgan Freeman. God, what a great movie!
It's a movie.
What a great movie!
It is a movie.
Skipping over Ant-Man and the Wasp because that's
right.
Ant-Man and the
Everybody
Wasp.
remembers that.
Yeah. On to Skyscraper.
Oh, yeah. This movie's bad.
Yeah, I think I remember one of the big things I remember about it is it takes them a really long time to get into the skyscraper.
It does, yeah. It's it's like there's one cool part, and it's when he has that fight with Little Schreiber.
Is this in the House of Mirrors? I remember a House of Mirrors.
I don't remember House of Mirrors. I remember him fighting his Pablo Schreiber, I think, is in this. And it's like his friend that's going to double cross him, and they get into a fight in his apartment. And he takes his fake leg off, or his prosthetic leg, rather.
His friend who's clearly going to double cross him.
Right, yeah. I remember that being the only part that felt cool and had any stakes, because we knew The Rock was going to be fine. We didn't know what was going to happen to his friend, who was being forced to betray him. And then I just remember the rest of the movie being very boring.
Well, the House of Mirrors, I remember at the top of the building, there's like a weird...
Yes, that's right. Yes.
And they show it, and I'm like, well, that's where the movie's going to end.
Well, we're going to get into a fight here.
Because it serves no... why would they ever build that on the top of a building?
I don't know, man, because it looks cool.
But like the logic is, we built the tallest building ever. Should we put on the top floor? Like an observation deck? No, we put a laser tag arena up there. Like, it's just like, why would you ever put that up there? You have the attraction. It's the height in which people are at. Mm-hmm. That's it.
But also, it's a holodeck.
Yeah, it is a holodeck.
I mean, but the holodeck doesn't need to be at the top of the tallest building in the world.
Right.
Sure, I get what you're saying.
That's extremely inconvenient.
Right. The holodeck could be ground level. Yeah.
Right. Also, like, again, it's like putting a holodeck on Mount Everest. It's like, no, you go to Mount Everest to, like, you would go on a holodeck to experience that thing that's already right there. Mm-hmm. So it's very weird. I remember Nev Campbell's in it, and they solve the problem. She keeps having him turn off and back on his iPad.
Turn it back on. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a real movie.
Mm-hmm. It sucks.
Super movie. Yeah. After it was Equalizer 2, which,
that had some fun moments in it. That had some solid Denzel violence in it.
Yeah. We don't have to get too much into it. It was great. It's Equalizer 2.
Yeah, it's just an R-rated thriller for grown-ups where Denzel murders the Christ out of some people.
Yeah. After that was Mission Impossible Fallout. Is that one where Henry Cavill gets struck by lightning?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Fucking amazing.
That's a great film.
Yeah. Henry Cavill is like, come on, you pussy, let's skydive. And Tom Cruise is like, it's a storm. And he's like, nah, fuck you. Like, sack taps him, jumps out, and gets immediately struck by lightning.
Instantly hit with the rage of Zeus. Just right in his fucking chest.
And then just goes flapping down to the ground.
Just screaming down to the earth.
Yeah.
Tom
Very
Cruise has to save him.
un-Superman of him.
Yep. He gets hit right in the mustache by the lightning.
Yeah. That's all you need to know about that. I don't remember that. Like all Mission Impossibles, I couldn't tell you the plot.
Oh, I don't know either. I just remember the stunts. It's a cool motorcycle scene. There's the helicopter chase.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's Mission Impossible. There's the bathroom fight scene where Henry Cavill reloads his fists. It's It's a perfect film.
And he's got a mustache.
It's
a perfect film. After that, we watched 8th Grade, which is...
fuck. Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. That's one of the most terrifying films on this list.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a hard watch.
It remains good. Like I bought that on Prime the second it was available.
Yeah. If you haven't seen 8th Grade, it's like I said, it's terrifying because it's a perfect representation of being in 8th grade, and it's just horrifying.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. It's the worst grade. Like, they picked the best time. 8th grade.
I would say 7th or 8th. Like, right in middle school is the worst time of your school career.
You're in the process or just leaving puberty, but haven't figured out your identity. It's the nightmare age. After that, I'm going to go ahead and call this shot now and say the next film we watched is the most disappointing film on the list.
Ooh.
Can you guess what that would be?
The Meg.
It is. It's The Meg.
Yeah, The Meg was a bummer.
What an absolute waste of Jason Statham fighting a giant shark.
I know. He cuts it open at the end, and that's cool, but like...
That's cool.
I
don't remember what we said, but...
I think we said that. We said that...
Yeah.
There's a whole scene where the Meg's at a beach with like hundreds of people, and it doesn't ever swallow them all.
Yep. I've never felt the need to rewatch this film.
I've rewatched it once.
Okay.
And there's some cool stuff in it, but like it's mostly a missed opportunity.
Well, it's not rated R, right?
No.
Well, there's your first problem.
There's a big problem right there, yeah. And I mean, there's moments where amazing shit happens. Like there's a guy in one of those big balls, those air balls that you can like push across.
It pops him.
Right, he bites it, it pops it. That's great. But there needs to be more of that, and there's not.
Yes, they needed to cut out all the weird facility stuff where it's like he's like underwater sea rescuer who's retired, and they like all that bullshit where they have this big facility.
Yeah,
I really just needed Jason Statham on a boat.
Yeah,
like that's all you really need.
I don't need any of the rest of this crap.
Yeah. The next movie we watched, this is a bad couple of weeks. Oh my God, Tom. Okay, so hold on. Starting with the Meg, let's keep track of how many shitty films here. Because then we watched Slenderman.
Oof.
That movie, boy.
That's a bad movie. That's an extremely bad movie. Made even worse by the fact that it was so heavily recut.
Yes, it's layers of bad. It's loosely based off of actual real life like tragedy. It's recut heavily. It's not scary. I remember every time Slenderman shows up, he gets like close to the main character and then she like wakes up or something.
Or he just stops.
Slenderman it does that
There's
thing
like a
where
couple
he just
of
screams.
things. There's a couple of scenes where like the character should absolutely be doomed, and then Slenderman just stops and leaves.
Right, because it's not like a movie like Gothica where the ghost is like trying to tell them something and therefore not actually a threat. No, Slenderman wants to harm these kids. And then he just doesn't.
He will just not. Like he suddenly remembers he has an appointment in 10 minutes.
Right, and there's a lot of sweaty ways movies usually take care of this, where they're like, the demon wants to break you down mentally first. Your fear is tastier. All that stuff. They don't. I remember they don't do any of that work. They're just like, it is what it is. Slenderman.
Yep, that movie is trash.
Yeah, if you ever watch the trailer, there is like 10 moments that are not in the film.
They cut out any instance of a teenager dying, pretty much.
Right. They basically, it feels like what happened is they're like, oh, Slenderman is all the rave, and then they didn't look up why, and then they made the movie, and then they looked up why, and they're like, oh, okay, we need to cut a bunch of stuff, and then they didn't have a movie.
That is true.
Yeah, so that's two bummer weeks, followed by the Happy Time Murders.
Oh man,
I couldn't tell you shit. I know there's puppets.
Yeah, there's puppets. There's puppet violence and puppet fucking.
There's puppet fucking.
There's puppet fucks. It's this. This movie sucks, and I remember it ends with like a montage of the puppets singing some goddamn song.
I don't know. I remember an airplane.
It ends on a tarmac. Yeah.
Okay, it ends on a tarmac. What low stakes. I remember that it was such a good idea. I remember first hearing about it and like writing about it at Cracked.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Because it was like noir puppets. And then it turned out somewhere along the way it went from being like gritty noir to like zany gross out comedy.
Yeah, gross out comedy, which it's like you could have maybe done both, but I was really expecting Who Framed Roger Rabbit with puppets.
Yeah,
and that's
me
not
too.
what this is.
It's not what it is. After that, we got some good news, Tom. We got a breath. We came up to the surface for some air, and that was Searching.
Oh yeah,
great film.
Solid film. John Cho. It's great.
Yep. If you haven't watched Searching, go back and watch it. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Yeah, it's very good. It's a very satisfying mystery, and it's an effective use of the device, which is that it takes place entirely on the screen of a laptop.
Yep. Unfortunately, we were immediately dragged back down again, Tom. Because after that, we had to watch The Nun.
Oof.
Okay. All I remember about The Nun is that a bunch of characters keep going into the same graveyard and getting scared in the same way.
It's another movie where there's like 11 times where they should be doomed and they're just not.
Yeah, where like it's one character like wakes up and like for no reason goes out to the graveyard, and then the nun like gets them, and then they cut to another character waking up and they go out into a graveyard and the nun like gets them, and they keep doing it. And the nun, I remember the end is in like a weird crypt.
Yes.
It's such a like.
It's one of this summer of movies that we got to experience this in Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, which are two of the worst films I've ever seen in the theater. Like The Nun is extremely bad.
The Nun is very bad.
Yeah.
We should watch it on one of these Friday nights.
Sure. I mean, it had the opening scene is good.
Okay, I don't remember.
We'll watch it on a Friday on a Patreon Friday, but the opening sequence is decent, and then the rest of the movie is just cornball garbage.
Yeah, we followed that up with The Predator, which I mean, not much to have to say about it. It's
sure.
The Predator.
It's The Predator. Yeah, I was.
It's great.
Yeah, like that movie each time I rewatch it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it more as just being a straight up lampoon of Predator movies.
Yeah. It feels almost like 90s. Like it's got Predator 2 energy, I think.
Yeah. But more deliberately silly.
Yeah. Here's one I don't remember. The House with a Clock in Its Walls.
Oh, that's the Eli Roth kids movie. I remember liking this one.
Yeah, I remember having goosebumps energy and being pretty fun.
Yeah, and there's some genuine fucked up moments, which I think kids need to be exposed to more in horror movies for children. It reminded me of a 1980s kids horror movie.
Yeah, for sure. You got to teach kids.
It actually has some teeth.
Yeah, you got to teach kids about fear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got to know what fear is.
If movies don't do it, then we're going to have to just like go to the park and jump out at kids.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I can do it. I've got a werewolf mask.
Yeah.
I'm ready to I'm ready to serve the community. Yeah, I can be creep.
Yeah. We followed that up with Mandy.
Ooh, yeah, Mandy's sweet.
Folks, you all know Mandy.
Mm-hmm.
Not much to have to say about Mandy. If you're listening right now and you're like, what's Mandy? Then go look it up and then come back a changed person.
Yeah, it's a psychedelic Nick Cage revenge
slasher
movie.
Yeah,
slasher revenge movie. It's great.
Yeah. The next couple, I don't know if we need to talk about.
Sure.
Venom and Bad Times at the El Royale.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy both of those. I've rewatched Venom a few times. I love how goddamn stupid it is.
Mm-hmm.
And Bad Times at the El Royale, I think, was just good. Like that was a movie that was criminally underseen that year, I think.
Yeah, actually, now you mention it, people, if you haven't watched Bad Times at the El Royale, go ahead and watch it. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
The Hemsworth there, he kills it.
He's great as a Charles Manson type. Jeff Bridges is great. Cynthia Erivo, who is she's since been blowing up in the years since then. She's great in it.
Yeah, it's terrific.
It's
and then
definitely good.
Yeah, not Spider-Man is good in it.
Right, yeah, we were convinced that was Spider-Man, and it's absolutely not.
He looks just like him.
It's Bill Pullman's kid.
Sure. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? Looks like he would be Bill Pullman's kid.
Yeah, Tom Holland looks like he would be Bill Pullman's kid.
Yeah. Here comes another big disappointment of our series of the year.
Sure.
Halloween.
Oh yeah, I hated this one.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Mm-hmm. It's boring.
Feel like
it's boring.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be a divide on that one, but I remember us all pretty firmly saying it looked really good, but it just didn't. There wasn't much to it.
Yeah, you, me, and ATB. Yeah, we all saw it and we're like, nope, this isn't it.
We did watch Apostle right after, and goddamn that movie.
That movie is fucked up. If you haven't watched Apostle, it's on Netflix. It's Gareth Evans, director of The Raid. It's horrific and very good. I think it's extremely well shot, like all of his movies are.
Yep.
And it's got Dan Stevens in it. So what are you waiting for?
What more do you want? And it's got fucking Michael Sheen.
It does have Michael Sheen. That's right.
And a beard.
Yeah, he's got a beard.
He's terrific. Yeah.
Michael Sheen with a beard.
Yeah. We got knocked back down with the remake of Suspiria after that, which I don't think we have to talk much about. It's just watch the original.
Yeah, that movie can fuck all the way off to Jupiter.
Yeah, it's too long.
It's too long and too far up its own ass.
I remember who made it. I like who made it.
Oh shit! Call Me by Your Name. What's his name?
No, that doesn't help.
Luca.
Oh, Luca
something. Yeah, he did Call Me by Your Name.
Oh, maybe okay. I don't know. It was. I didn't understand why they did this.
Nope, neither did I.
Yeah. Then we watched Overlord, which is, I remember not liking it as much as you. I've never watched it again.
I watched it again and I liked it more the second time.
Because
I knew going in that it was John Carpenter, pretty much.
Oh. Okay.
Particularly because you remember one of the main guys is Kurt Russell's kid, and he does some extremely Kurt Russell things in it. So,
what happened? Has he been doing other stuff?
He's been in other stuff, and he's going to be on Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I believe. He's on one of the Marvel shows.
Because, yeah, good on him for passing on Wyatt Russell.
Wyatt Russell, yeah.
Passing on the Russell fucking name.
Mm-hmm.
Good on him. Okay, Tom. Mm-hmm. Next movie. I didn't even know we watched this, but now I'm remembering.
I'm excited. What is it?
The Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald or whatever. Grundlewald. That's what it is.
I watched this without having seen the first Fantastic Beasts, and I still haven't because I absolutely don't give a shit.
This movie was a fucking mess.
Yeah, this movie. Yeah, I can't. In fairness, I can't really comment much on it because I didn't know what the hell was going on because I didn't bother to watch the first one.
I watched the first one and I still didn't know what's going on. It was very. I remember the movie the editing being very disjointed, where he'd be like suddenly in places, and they wouldn't really explain how he got there, and they were sort of places that you needed to explain, or like it was just like the locate. Like it felt like they were cutting it up a lot.
I don't remember hardly anything about this movie. I'm trying to remember what it happened in the movie. I remember there was a fair. Yeah, there's a dragon, right? There's a dragon.
It gets magically packed into a suitcase or something. He has a suitcase that's full of animals. Mm-hmm. That's from the first one. I remember that, like, their Voldemort, who is, I believe, Johnny Depp, shows up at the end, right? And they're in like a auditorium.
Yeah, they're in like some sort of like outdoor amphitheater or some shit. Doing some Death Eater crap.
And I recall that they're never going to make another one of these, right?
I don't know.
We must be done with this.
J.K. Rowling the plan was to make fucking 5 of them.
Yes, but like, who wants these?
I don't think anybody wants these, especially now that J.K. Rowling has spent the last 3 years just fucking being an anti-trans goblin.
Yeah, and like the movies weren't good.
Transphobic ghoul.
If J.K. Rowling was like a saint, then I could see it making more of these, even though they're bad. Because then it's like, well, why not? But they're too, like, it's not good enough to justify giving her anything for being like the terrible person that she is.
Yeah, we need to stop. Like, there's a trailer for a Harry Potter video game that came out today for PS5, and like overwhelmingly the response I saw on social media was "fuck off."
Yeah, I'm sure PS5 knew, where they're like, and we've been working on this for a while, so here it is. And it's like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
No one's into it.
Nobody wants this now.
Yeah.
It's kind of ruined.
Yeah. After that, we did a one of a kind co-episode with the folks at Small Beans.
Oh, right. The Ballot of Buster Scruggs, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
A movie I need to watch again because I remember liking a lot.
Yeah, it's good. It's a Coen Brothers anthology movie. It's good.
Yeah. I want to skip ahead, though, Tom.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because the next one is... this is a blank. This name is a blank.
Okay.
The Possession of Hannah Grace.
Oh, yeah, that's the one where it's a worse version of the Autopsy of Jane Doe. Where it's like the main character is like like night nurse at a morgue, and they get brought in like this charred body that was like
an exorcist
from an exorcism gone wrong, and like shit starts to go weird in the morgue. But it's bad and stupid.
Yeah, I remember it being bad and stupid.
Yeah, it's a bad and stupid version of the Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Got it. Let's move on to bigger and better things, because the next one is the Robin Hood, the modern Robin Hood.
Sure.
Which, I mean, come on. Great movie.
Sure.
Is Ben Mendelsohn in it?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Is he the sheriff?
Uh-huh.
And he dresses like he's from The Matrix.
Yes. Everybody dresses in like modern clothing in this movie, and it's incredible.
I remember it felt like they were doing a Marie Antoinette thing, but they weren't.
Yeah. And then the opening with like Robin and the Crusades looks like the war in Afghanistan. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They clearly had an idea that they thought was really cool, and it wasn't cool.
It wasn't cool at all.
It was a real like 15-year-old kid writing a screenplay. I remember that Robin Hood. I remember that he never gives to the poor.
No, he doesn't.
I think he throws coins at poor people in one scene, and that's it.
Yeah. It really felt like a reshoot.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, we never show him robbing from the rich and robbing from the rich and giving to the poor. We should probably put that in there.
Right. I remember he uses civil unrest as like a ruse to steal,
I guess,
and nothing else. I remember he isn't planning on that Jamie Foxx gets captured, and he isn't planning on rescuing him. He's just going to do the theft and leave. And like he at the last minute, he's like, I guess I should go get him. And it's like, you're the hero?
You remembered a lot more about this movie than I did.
It's we watched it again.
Yeah, but I was not paying attention.
That's fair. I remember there being so much. I remember the casino where there's like techno music playing.
The fucking casino. It just looks like a modern casino.
Yeah, I actually, if you're a fan of bad movies, I invite people to watch this. Yeah,
this movie is a pretty glorious swing and a miss.
It's fascinating.
It's definitely an entertaining watch because of how just fucking out of its mind it is.
Right. And then we had Aquaman, we had Spider-Verse. We did a year-end special, Tom. I didn't even know we did that.
Yeah, we did. We went over some of the movies that we didn't do that year and then still wanted to talk about. Like, I think Sorry to Bother You.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And a few others we talked about in that episode. Just movies we wanted people to get around to that we didn't cover that year, I believe was the premise.
Right, where it's like, the theaters, so many movies in theaters.
Yeah.
Now we have the opposite problem.
Yes.
After that was Replicas, the Keanu Reeves movie.
Oh, man. Watch that immediately.
I don't want to spoil it, but I'm gonna. I just remember that it... I remember that it was started with Keanu Reeves and almost like a comedy plot where he's like, I'm cloning my dead family. Oh, boy. And then it ends in a robot version of him in a business suit. Yeah. And everything in between is a blur.
I remember Thomas Middleditch gets shot in the face.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, and like the climax.
Wow.
Yep.
We got to watch that on a Friday.
We should. Yeah, this movie goes in a bunch of directions you're not expecting it to.
Yeah, that movie, it's a fucking mess, but a beautiful mess.
It's a glorious mess.
Not a glorious mess was the next thing we watched, which was Glass.
That's a piece of shit.
Yes. Moving on. Because I want to talk about this next one, because this is another one where I'm like, I don't know what this is. I.O.
I.O., that's right. That's the Netflix movie with Margaret Qualley and Anthony Mackie.
Oh, that was real bad.
It was incredibly boring. Yeah, it's a post-apocalyptic sci-fi movie.
That was a struggling to stay awake one where nothing happened.
Yeah, it sucks. It's extremely boring.
Let's move on because the next movie is Velvet Buzzsaw. Oh, I need to rewatch this one.
Delicious.
It's been a second.
Yeah, Velvet Buzzsaw rules. That's one of the more underrated films of this list. Yeah, that's Gilroy.
Yep, Dan Gilroy.
Dan Gilroy, that's right. I couldn't remember which one.
Yeah, who did Nightcrawler. Yeah. And it has Jake Gyllenhaal giving a real Jake Gyllenhaal performance.
He's so fucking good in it. Oh man.
Yeah.
It's about about artists and art critics getting murdered by the art that they're exploiting. It's so good.
It's so good. And the name Velvet Buzzsaw, it's great payoff on the name. Great film. Fucking go watch Velvet Buzzsaw.
It's a Netflix movie. It's on there.
We followed it with The Prodigy, which...
That sucked.
Nope. Was it? Was it about like... Oh, it was a little kid, right? And he had a Bihawk, and he started fires.
What?
No, I'm confusing it with the band Prodigy. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Exactly.
I remember there was a field.
We did listen to The Prodigy on the way to The Prodigy.
Excellent. I remember this part where he turns around and he has like a man face.
Yeah, he basically he gets the reincarnated soul of a Polish or Eastern European serial killer in his body, and his face will occasionally become the face of a middle-aged Polish man. And it's incredibly
amazing.
funny each time it happens.
So that's a highlight of that film.
Yeah.
We followed that up with Alita Battle Angel.
Alita Battle Angel is the biggest takeaway is that we were all surprised to discover that 78% of it is about professional rollerblading.
Yes, that is a shocker.
Uh-huh.
That movie, I watched it again with you, and I feel like it got worse.
Probably.
I don't know. Yeah.
I honestly forgot we watched it a second time.
We got some good ones coming up, Tom.
Sure.
We have The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot.
That's a solid picture.
With Sam Elliott, filmed around my hometown in Western Massachusetts. Go see that. It's a drama, so that might surprise you.
It's a very poignant drama.
Yes.
It's not at all what the title suggests.
No, not at all. We had some pretty good luck here, a good streak, because we followed that up with Lords of Chaos.
Oh yeah, that movie rules.
Now that's a fucking movie. It's a toughie. That's a serious watch.
It is, but it's also weirdly funny. It's like a darkly comic version,
Yes.
telling of the story of the band Mayhem.
Yep. We got our boy
Rory
Walter in it,
and Rory Culkin,
and Rory Culkin. That's a terrific film. If you don't mind a little bit of death and like very real death,
right?
Not like,
there's a couple of scenes,
like horror death,
right? It's very sudden, very disturbing scenes of violence because of how realistically they play out.
Yes, but if you can get past that, it's definitely worth watching.
It's great, yeah.
Yeah, we had a good palate cleanser after that with Captain Marvel, which we don't have to talk about.
Nope.
Because the next one that I want to talk about is Between Worlds.
Oh, the Nick Cage movie.
Yeah.
Fuck, I forgot we did that for an episode.
This is another one we should probably watch one of these Friday nights with our patrons.
That movie is wild.
That movie is out of control. That movie, I'm surprised that everybody involved in that movie didn't get arrested.
Yeah.
It's about a woman who sees the future when she gets choked. Mm-hmm. Right? Or she talks to ghosts when she gets choked.
Yeah, she can like commune with the spirit realm or something.
And Nicolas Cage's wife gets... It's like The Secret with David Duchovny.
Right.
Nicolas Cage's wife gets put in her daughter's body, and then they start fucking. And I remember the fact that the fucking starts before Nicolas Cage even knows that it's like his wife. Or like he's just gonna fuck this teenage girl.
Sure.
And then he's like, oh, bonus, you're also my wife.
Right, and also, do you remember... in that scene, as they are fucking, Nicolas Cage's character is reading a book conspicuously written by Nicolas Cage.
Right, and they don't explain that. Like
Nope.
the movie isn't. It's not like a weird meta film. It's just that's just in the movie.
No, he's just reading a book by Nicolas Cage. This character is reading a book by Nicolas Cage as he has sex.
I assume because he was like, I want this in the movie, and they're like, well, sure.
Yeah.
You've agreed to do this movie,
Right.
so yeah.
You're the only star in this movie, so whatever you say, Nicolas Cage.
Everyone watch Between Worlds, but just be prepared to be shocked and feel like the director and writer should have been arrested.
Yeah.
It's a real fucking
You're
weird
going to probably feel the need to report yourself to a crime hotline after you're done watching it.
100%. We watched Us after that, which...
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
Well, I do want to amend something in that, because I think I said that it was... When we watched it, I was saying that I felt like it was about incarceration, and something occurred to me. We talked about it, actually. Never mind. We talked about it with Chud. Is that the Chud reference in The Hands Across America, it feels like it's very clearly about homelessness.
I think it's about
and
all
mental health.
I think it's about all those things.
Yeah, I guess so. It leans a lot on like homeless imagery, because Chud is more about homeless people, and The Hands Across America was specifically for homelessness. But you're right; it's just about people who are disenfranchised and past.
And
great movie
and otherism. Yeah, it's a great movie.
Have you heard of Us?
Yeah,
great movie. We don't have to talk about Dumbo, do we? The Tim Burton Dumbo?
No, it's not. It doesn't need to exist.
All right, Shazam, great
movie.
Shazam was great.
Movie.
After that was Hellboy, which we disagreed on.
We vehemently disagreed on Hellboy. Yeah.
And we continue to.
Yeah, we continue to. Yeah.
All right, skipping through, because we got Avengers Endgame with Macaulay Culkin as a guest.
Solid.
That's solid. Yeah. Under the Silver Lake, an extremely
ooh, yeah, that was great
film.
Yeah, solid film. I love that movie.
Yeah. If you like weird movies, that's one that might have passed people by, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of long, but it's this creepy neo-noir thriller, horror, comedy, drama. It's an extremely interesting movie with some very, very memorable sequences.
By the director and writer of It Follows, who I believe has another project coming.
I assume so. Hopefully.
I mean, like I'm gonna look this up real quick. David Robert Mitchell, who, if you remember when we saw It Follows, we fucking saw him.
Yeah, he was there. He did a Q&A.
I could have. Damn it! I'm not seeing it. I could have sworn he made the news because he had something up. Oh yeah, he's working. You know what his next movie is? It's a superhero film.
Oh right, I did read about that.
Called Heroes and Villains, which is clearly not going to be an actual superhero film.
Right, it's going to be some sort of subversion of it.
Yeah, and
or weird hybrid, or weird genre hybrid.
I'm pretty damn excited about that.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Fucking yeah. If you haven't watched Under the Silver Lake, I don't know what to tell you. It's great. Detective Pikachu we watched after that. That was kind of a piece of shit. I remember it being pretty underwhelming.
Yeah, it was extremely underwhelming.
Yeah, Aladdin. Okay.
Yeah.
Booksmart.
Yep. Solid film.
I really enjoyed Booksmart.
It's now readily available. I think you can watch it for free on Hulu or something. I think it's available somewhere where you don't have to pay anything extra for it.
Booksmart's a real, like, that's one where it's, if you haven't seen it, go back, watch it. I feel like that's an easy one for people to have missed, but it was terrific. Then I'm skipping over some of the patron ones.
We kind of have to.
I figured, because a lot of those are old movies. We went on to Dark Phoenix. Great film.
Solid film. I do remember my takeaway, and I think we both agreed that the movie is bad, but like
it's not as bad as people made it out to be.
It's definitely not as bad as the critical response was.
Yeah, that doesn't really help.
No,
like it's like we were like kind of apologists about it, but it's like it's not a good movie. It's just that people were like, it's like if you were about to go into a bathroom and someone's like, "Oh, don't go in there. The smell is atrocious. You'll vomit immediately." And then you go in and it just kind of smells like farts.
Yeah.
And you're like, it just kind of smells like farts.
Yeah, not even like a lot of farts, just like one or two farts. No. It's like, I don't want to hang around in here for too long, but I mean, that's tolerable.
Right. I'm not going to eat a meal in here, you know, but like it's fine. It's just farts.
Yeah.
Speaking of farts, we watched Men in Black International.
I had completely forgotten that existed until just now.
What a profoundly underwhelming thing.
That is just that's just a carcass on the highway. It's just so
Let's see if we can figure this out. I remember that Liam Neeson was in it.
Uh-huh.
There's a Hemsworth.
Uh-huh.
I remember that there was a guy with like an alien beard.
Sure.
They have a super gun that blows up stuff.
Yeah,
I remember that like Liam Neeson is
blow
the
up
bad
the
guy.
entire race of evil aliens.
Oh right, they committed atrocity in that.
Yeah, with the hyper gun, with the super gun.
Right. And it's the victory of the film is they literally like Hitler an entire race. And they're like, "We did it." And it was like, "Well, hold on." They were just kind of ugly. Like, yeah, sure, a couple of them seemed like they were bad, but you just wiped out an entire species.
Yeah.
That's dark.
How dare you?
Yeah, and then their car flies away at the end, and they're like, "Yeah, we did it."
The Men in Black.
You know how the Men in Black love fucking committing atrocities,
as the
just genocides,
ashes of a murdered planet rain down around them.
That's what they're known for.
The good guys dressed in black. Remember that.
Oh yeah, no, fuck that movie.
Yeah, that movie sucked.
It's a shame because I kind of wanted that movie to
so
be
did
good.
I. It should have been cool.
Yeah, and it wasn't they're good at it. Everybody's good at it.
Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth. It's like that's obviously they have chemistry together because Thor Ragnarok.
It felt
that movie was just bad.
It felt like Yeah, it was like a first draft where like someone should have come in and been like, this should be bigger. But instead it was like a very small scale. And like, I don't know, it just kind of, it's a fart.
Yeah, full of extremely obvious jokes. It's just bad.
Yeah. It needed a few passes. We then followed up with the Child's Play remake, which I rewatched. That's still fun.
It's fine. It's fine. I appreciated the update of it, like the idea of it, of that it's like a smart toy.
Yeah. I don't know. I enjoyed it for what it was, you know?
Yeah.
Mark Hamill. I mean, come on. I mean, Brad Dourif is Chucky, and it's a shame that he wasn't Chucky, but like,
that's all right.
They put out that fire pretty quickly by being like, and here's Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
And then, everybody's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, that's acceptable. And then we're also getting like the Chucky sci-fi series that has Brad Dourif. So
that's great. Yeah. One of the next movies we watched next was Midsummer. I still remember that movie being fucking hilarious.
It's the Wicker Man. It's the Wicker Man.
Yeah, I just remember laughing so much.
His little bear
at
face,
the end,
his little sad bear face.
Yeah, he's a grumpy little bear, and he's just sitting there paralyzed, like, how did this go wrong? and it really went wrong.
Yeah.
Just like I remember thinking. Wrong. Yeah, I remember watching him just in a bear carcass being lit on fire and thinking like, yeah, you didn't remember her birthday.
Yeah, this
like,
is what you get for not remembering her birthday, you piece of shit.
Should have remembered her birthday, man. She's going through a lot. Fun movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I think it's shitty and up its own ass, but
see, I find it fun to watch. It's bright colors. It's a joyous. It's I don't know. It made me laugh a few times.
It made us laugh a lot.
Yeah. Like that's all you can ask for. Yep. Crawl. Don't give a shit about Crawl.
Yeah, the Crawl is. I've rewatched Crawl. It's fine.
All right.
It's fine. I mean, there's not enough alligator violence in it. Is its problem?
Yeah. I just my frustrations with it.
Yeah.
I don't need to rehash it. It's just a frustrating movie.
It is.
We moved on to we got Once Upon a Time in Hollywood here.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about it. We got Fast and Furious.
You and I disagreed a little bit on it, but we don't. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I'm pretty done with Tarantino and his long ass movies. They feel like they're more for him than for us.
See, I argue for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood the same way you argue for like 2001 and like
I remember that.
Dr. Zhivago. I just put that shit on.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Zhivago is a great story. But Dr. Zhivago is also short now by today's standards of movies. It feels like it's only like 4 hours and something minutes. But that your argument does make me want to rewatch it because I get the idea that it's visually very good. And I get what he was trying to do with like, I don't know, setting up Sharon Tate and like her excitement and this budding career and all that. I get it.
Yeah, for sure.
I get it. But after that, we did Hobbs and Shaw, which I don't think you were there.
I wasn't. That was you and Ganser.
Anything? I mean, you've since watched it, right?
Oh yeah.
What did you think?
Fucking rules. It's Hobbs and Shaw. Are you kidding me?
All right.
They're going to space in the next one.
Fuck yeah, they are.
Then the only thing left for them to do is travel through time.
Yep. After that, we watched Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
That was a fart.
Do you remember anything about that?
I remember it looked cool.
Right, and it wasn't very scary.
It wasn't very scary, but it was like we both hope because it's the director of The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah, so we were both hoping that this director would still get to do stuff, even though this movie sucked.
Yeah, that's the shame because I really like The Autopsy of Jane Doe. It's not amazing or anything, but it's like real solid horror movie. It's like The Innkeepers, you know?
Yeah, it's just very effective.
Yeah. He's doing a movie next called Bright Skies, which is about UFOs, and that gets me, just rock hard.
Yeah, no, I started lactating the second you said that.
UFOs, are you kidding me? He's also doing something called The Last Voyage of Demeter. Demeter? I don't know. It's about a ship.
Sweet.
Oh my God. Tom, sorry, I read the first part, which says about a ship, and then I read the second part that says, which carried Dracula's coffin.
Fuck yes.
It's a Dracula movie.
Fucking Draculas.
From Transylvania to England, only to arrive at port with no survivors aboard. Jeez, I wonder what happened to them, Tom.
Oh, man. If it's anything like episode 2 of Dracula, the Netflix series.
What a mystery that must be.
Yeah, we don't know what happened to this boat carrying Dracula.
Yeah. I want to talk about the next film because it's The Intruder. Remember that shit?
Yes. Took me a second. Dennis Quaid.
Evil Dennis Quaid.
This movie rules. It's not particularly great, but Dennis Quaid's performance is really good. And
have you watched it since?
Not since.
I did not expect that strong of a reaction.
This movie is great for 2 reasons. 1, because Dennis Quaid's performance is good, and 2, because
just being creepy.
The twist is genuinely creepy.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I don't think it was done in a creepy way, but it's yeah.
The concept of it, like me sitting there with it afterwards, just thinking about the implications of it, I was like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
That's great.
I don't want Dennis Quaid in my house.
Yeah.
Imagine Dennis Quaid living in your basement
living in the walls of your house like a Dennis Quaid-sized rat or roach, just a giant Dennis Quaid cockroach.
It's a real fun because I feel like the way they did that is they're like, and he lives there. How's it going to be scary? I don't know. Just have him like really Quaided up.
Yeah.
Just be a real fucking weird creep.
Mm-hmm.
I skipped ahead a little bit to Tigers Are Not Afraid.
Great film. It's on Shudder now if you haven't seen it.
Oh, yeah. Everybody check out Tigers Are Not Afraid. Mm-hmm. I also want to skip to Ad Astra.
Brad Astronaut.
Fucking.
You and I disagreed pretty strongly on this movie.
I just thought it was dumb.
I disagree.
I remember it being very dumb.
I disagree.
Well, here, okay, I'll give it this. I want to watch it again.
Yeah, you should.
Because I still think it's dumb, but, like, it does have a car chase on the moon. Mm-hmm. So, it does have monkeys attacking the faces of astronauts.
It sure does.
Like, it has some great stuff in it. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
I think if you approach it more like a fairy tale,
right,
that's about certain themes than a movie that's like literally about like a sci-fi adventure about going into space, then I think you might have a better time watching it.
Yeah. But can't you do that to any movie? Like the next movie on our list is The Fanatic. And like if we approach that like a fairy tale,
well, I mean in the sense that like Ad Astra, like the science was clearly not the focus of it, and it wasn't meant to be realistic, and for some reason it really got nitpicked for its science when it was like it's about
because it's a space movie.
Yeah, but it's not it's not like Gravity. It's more about somebody going on a journey to find his father. It's like I don't know.
I think it needed to be shot in a more surreal way then, or something like that.
It is. It is kind of.
Yeah. I have to watch it again. It might be the mix of things like a gunfight car chase where it's like, then why is that in there? Mm-hmm. That just felt like they were doing an action movie thing. Like it feels like it didn't know what it wanted to be. Mm-hmm. Because I do see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of distractions in the movie from that idea. Mm-hmm. But I don't have to watch it again.
Yeah, maybe you should.
Like The Fanatic.
Everybody should watch The Fanatic again.
Yeah, no notes on The Fanatic.
0 notes.
I mean, a lot of notes, but 0 notes.
0 notes.
Fred Durst, The Fanatic.
Yeah, if you want to see Devon Sawa headbutt John Travolta's soul out of his body, then watch The Fanatic.
Watch The Fanatic. We then watched Joker, which, moving on. Gemini Man, remember that shit?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, that was fine.
I mean, it's bad.
It's bad fine.
There's some fun stuff in it, like him just straight up shooting Clive Owen in the face with a shotgun in the end.
Oh my God, yes. It needed more replicas energy. Like it needed It needed to be dumber.
Yeah. It needed more action.
Well, it needed something.
Yeah.
Because it just didn't have enough of what it had.
It didn't have enough of anything. Action.
The action was good, but it's what's his face directing?
It was Ang Lee, wasn't it?
Ang Lee. Yeah. So it's like, really Ang Lee it up, Ang Lee. Come on.
Yeah.
But it felt like too middle of the road. Like it just needed to be dumber.
It was extremely.
I guess
it was
smarter.
extremely blah, and it
Yeah.
It was in development hell for like 10 years.
Right. Speaking of blah, we also apparently watched the Zombieland sequel, Zombieland Double Tap.
Yeah, that movie was not good.
Nope.
There's a couple of funny jokes in it, but like it felt so dated. I think that's the conclusion we both came to.
Yeah, there's a character in it her bit was she's a dumb blonde.
Right, but she was
really?
great.
No, the actress was killing it.
She was great.
But the joke of it was like, this feels like a decade or two old.
Yeah.
She really was. She saved that role, I think, with her performance.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was fantastic.
Oh man, I forgot what her name is, but she was really good in that.
I don't know. Later on, we went on to watch Parasite. I just want to bring that up as a contender to the best film we watched in all this list.
I would agree with that.
Another contender right next to it is Terminator Dark Fate. Neck and neck.
Neck and neck, yeah, it's a real horse race,
Fate. Having watched that Terminator Dark Fate again, I have a feeling I was too hard on it. I don't remember what I said in the review.
You were pretty hard on it.
Well, because Terminator,
right?
man,
because Terminator has been
hurt.
It keeps feeding us shit sandwiches.
Yeah. But the fight at the end when he's choking him with the chain,
it's good.
And it's fucking brutal.
Yeah, and there's actual stakes in the movie, and like it's the best Terminator sequel since Terminator 2, but it's also like too little, too late,
Yeah. Okay. This is why I say, because I know I've said a lot. Mm-hmm. Also, it's Tim Miller, which I think the overall plot of Terminator 3 is better. What it was, how it takes place. Unfortunately, it wasn't made good. Mm-hmm. I think this is the better made film with better action, and definitely the best one in that terms. That said, my favorite Terminator anything since Terminator 2, Tom, can you guess? It's the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Oh, right. I was going to say the Terminator 3D ride at Universal Studios.
Yeah. Oh, that is pretty great.
That's pretty sweet.
No, Sarah Connor Chronicles, folks. Mm-hmm. All the way.
Obviously.
Skipping over Frozen 2, skipping over Knives Out. I feel like we've said what we need to say about those.
For sure, yeah.
The Irishman. You want to talk about The Irishman?
No.
Marriage Story. It was good.
Yeah, I maintain that both those movies are good.
Yeah. All right, we're up to Cats. That's
Cats. We're going to be celebrating Cats for quite a while to come, I suspect.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that needs to be said here that wasn't already said about Cats. Mm-hmm. Guys, it's Cats.
It's Cats.
All right, here's Rise of Skywalker right here in front of me. Yeah.
Nope.
That movie's kind of incredible. Like, I rewatched that movie because of how bad it is.
Yeah, we rewatched it together as a family.
Yeah, because it is kind of significant how bad it is. Like, it's shocking.
It is startlingly bad, but we don't need to spend any more time talking about how bad the new Star Wars is.
How about the remake of The Grudge, starring Mandy?
Yeah. There were, our consensus on that was it was not good, but there were a couple of really good moments in it.
Yeah.
Specifically, the last scene with John Cho. If you remember.
Right.
And then
there was good moments in it.
And the very last shot of the film.
I was surprisingly pleased with the tone of it.
Mm-hmm. The tone was spot on, yeah.
Yeah, they went with even a darker tone. It just was a little slow.
Right, and it was just like, well, why are we doing this now? There's clearly clearly talent with the director, because there was extremely memorable shot choices and decisions made in the movie.
Yeah, there was a lot of talent behind it, for sure. I think it was just like, I'm not sure what we're doing here. It's the director of The Eyes of My Mother. So yeah, that checks out. It's I don't know, man. It's I kind of want to rewatch it one of these days, but it's like I put it, you know where I put it, Tom? I put it like right next to like the Dark Water remake with Jennifer Connelly.
Never saw that.
It's like, I don't know why I chose that movie, but like it's a solid sometimes rewatch that you don't really need to think about between rewatches. The interesting thing about Dark Water remake is Jennifer Connelly stars in it. It also features John C. Reilly and Tim Roth.
Why wouldn't it?
And Pete Postlethwaite.
Postlethwaite, yeah.
It's just like one of those movies you put on and you're like, wait, why are all these really good actors showing up in the Dark Water, 2005's Dark Water? I don't know. We're not here to talk about Dark Water.
No, we're not at all.
Bad Boys for Life is a movie we watch. I need to watch that again because I remember loving it.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
No notes.
Colored somewhat by all of the police violence this year.
Oh, right.
So you just kind of have to pretend that they're superheroes when you watch it.
There's been a lot of bad boys lately.
Yeah.
What are you going to do when they come for you? Yeah. It's, I mean, I don't think of them as cops, I guess.
Right,
because
just think of them as superheroes.
Such wild things. Yeah. I mean, they go to Cuba in the second one. They could create international incidences. I mean, they're worse than cops in a lot of ways, but, you know, we love them. Folks,
there are bad boys.
Yeah. Birds of Prey we watched. I need to rewatch that. That was a lot of fun.
I enjoy it. Yeah, it's fun.
Here's a real forgettable one. Sonic the Hedgehog. Do you remember that movie?
I remember it being extremely fine.
Yeah, I don't remember it at all.
Yeah, I remember some. It's a very paint by numbers kids movie, but it's not bad.
Right. Oh, here's one you missed out of. The Lighthouse. That was me and Adam.
Yes, I didn't get to record that one.
I would do another episode of The Lighthouse.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit.
I fucking love The Lighthouse.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, man, there's so many good films. The Invisible Man.
Yeah, The Invisible Man rules.
I feel like movies got better as we went on.
Our selection of voices did. Onward was decent. I haven't thought about it much since we saw it.
It was fine.
Yeah.
It was so fine.
It was very fine.
This one means something to me. It won't for you, but Bloodshot. Bloodshot is the final movie I saw in theaters.
Onward would be the final one I did.
Wow. I saw, we never did Call of the Wild, but I saw that with my parents.
That's
right. And then Bloodshot. Me and Jeff, we sat several seats apart. In retrospect, it was still irresponsible.
Yeah.
I hope it's not the last movie I see in theaters. Same with you and Onward.
Same, yeah. I hope so. But
yeah.
Bloodshot is fucking wild.
Yeah. You've since watched it.
Yes.
It's great. You know, it's Bloodshot.
It's Bloodshot. Man. It's Vin Diesel. What
Everybody loves Bloodshot. We got Color Out of Space on this list. Yeah. God fucking damn it.
Chef's kiss.
Yep. Blow the Man Down.
That was also.
Now we're getting into the recents.
Yeah, that was also good. Yeah, you guys.
That was terrific.
Yeah, you guys should watch that.
Doolittle.
Do not watch that.
Fair enough. Fantasy Island. Okay, we're getting back into Fart Town.
Also, do not watch that. My God.
Skipping up.
My God.
What else? Now I'm just wildly skipping because we're getting to the newer ones.
Right.
The Lodge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You liked that. I didn't as much.
I did.
My sister really liked it, I believe. If that means anything.
Sure. It's free. I think it's quote unquote free to watch somewhere now. I think on Hulu.
Okay. Yeah, if you like the slow roll horror movies.
It's creepy. It's effectively creepy.
Yeah, the ending's dumb.
I like the ending, but
I mean, the kids, they're just sitting there. We talked about this. We agreed on this is why they weren't doing anything.
Yeah, that's dumb. I'll agree with that.
Here's a great one. Capone. You remember Capone?
Capone has not been far from my heart ever since we watched it.
Yeah. I'm going up. The Vast of Night. That needs a rewatch.
That's good. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's terrific. Some wildly scrolling, Tom. Wildly scrolling
Do it.
up.
Do it.
Artemis Fowl.
That is a tie with Fallen Kingdom and The Nun for the worst movie we've watched, I think.
Uh-huh. Yeah, okay. I'm scrolling up just to because I think we've moved on to that section. Is what's the best, what's the worst. I'm scrolling up to see if there's anything we forgot. Thick as Thieves is here. I think that was a Patreon
That was
one.
a Patreon
The
one.
Old Guy we did with Jason. That's a fun episode. Not a great movie. That's one of those movies. I remember when Jason was like, because he brought that to us, and he was like, we should talk about The Old Guy. And then I watched it, and I was like, man, I hope Jason has a lot to say. The Rental.
He always does.
He always does.
Yeah, The Rental I enjoyed.
Yep. Deep Blue Sea 3.
Man, Deep Blue Sea 3.
Fucking great.
I need to own that. I mean, I own it on digital. I want a Blu-ray with loaded with special features.
I need a Blu-ray. Yeah. She Dies Tomorrow. Yeah, we're really getting into the recent ones.
Mm-hmm.
The Project Power. Fucking. Bill and Ted Face the Music.
All right, this is like last week.
And Mulan. And then I'm thinking of ending things.
Yeah.
So, Tom, the question is, what is your all right, what do you think is your favorite film or the best film on this list? Which are two different questions.
Two different questions. Yeah, I think the best film is Parasite, right?
Yes, hands down. I think the best film is Parasite.
Down.
What's your favorite
My
film on
favorite
this list?
film. That's a tough one.
That's
That's
tough.
really hard. What's my favorite film of the last 2 years, man? I don't know.
I'm gonna go with probably because this is tough because defining favorite also means like, does it mean the movie that you can rewatch tons of times or that a movie that you just are fond of? Because like Color Out of Space and Mandy I love.
Yes.
But I feel like I'm burnt out on Mandy because I've watched it so many times.
I've watched both of them a lot, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not a rewatchable film necessarily because I wouldn't get,
That's a tough one. I think, okay, here are my favorites. Definitely Color Out of Space and Mandy.
Yep.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Sure.
The Lighthouse.
Lighthouse.
Eighth Grade. Those are my favorites, I think, of the ones that we've talked about.
Take away the one I didn't like, Once Upon a Time, and we're pretty much on the same. It's so boring. We're on the same page.
We usually
I would
are.
add Us
We
to
usually
that.
are. Oh,
yeah.
fuck yeah, that's right, Us.
Yeah, we've had a few episodes where we disagree. I get more excited when we do have those because it's more interesting. But or maybe it's not. Maybe people don't give a shit. Yeah, and then of course the Avengers. I skipped over the superhero ones.
Yeah, the superhero ones occupy a separate space in my mind.
They do.
It's more notable when I...
Velvet Buzzsaw.
Oh, yeah, Velvet Buzzsaw I need to rewatch. It's the
Lords of Chaos. Man.
There's some good ones, but I think I picked out my favorite ones already.
I think of all these movies, the one that I'm like to people like, oh, you got to watch that, is Under the Silver Lake because it's the most underwatched one.
Yes, I will agree with that.
Yeah, that and
Bad Times.
Lords of Chaos and Bad Times.
Yeah, If we were gonna pick the ones that you should watch that don't really get watched, it would be those three.
Yeah. Also, I really enjoyed Bill and Ted Face the Music, but I guess that's not an amazing film. Yeah, of all, I think Parasite, The Lighthouse, and Us, in terms of like filmmaking,
the best filmmaking. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get into the better question, which is, what would you say are the biggest, wettest farts on this list?
Artemis Fowl and The Nun.
Yep. Oh, by the way, for best, Invisible Man. Should have mentioned Invisible Man.
Yeah, The Invisible Man, yeah.
Yeah. Artemis Fowl and The Nun.
Artemis Fowl and The Nun, for sure. The Cloverfield Paradox is extremely bad.
Yeah, here's what I'll say about The Nun, is I at least remember watching it. Like, I remember being like, wow, this is bad, and thinking about how it's bad. Artemis Fowl is also that, but I don't want to watch it again.
Artemis Fowl is bad in the way that The Master of Disguise is bad, and where it's
Yes.
so broken on
Repulsive.
every single level.
Yeah.
It completely broken.
It repels the audience. Robin Hood?
Robin Hood's good bad.
Yeah, that might be one of my favorites to watch.
Yeah, that's good bad. That's a different thing.
Jurassic World 2 is deeply frustrating, like the Jurassic Worlds and the Star Wars. I would almost put those as contenders for worst because of what they represent, because they're a property that people were so excited for being done so badly.
I would put the Jurassic Worlds in a good bad thing, because they're entertaining for me to watch just in terms of dinosaurs mauling people. The Star Wars movies I can't even watch because it's like, that's a movie that's about the story, and I could not give a shit.
Like, in terms of pure hate, I think Rise of Skywalker, because there's videos online of people literally screaming at the screen when, like, they kissed and, like, when she's like, Rey Skywalker and all that.
Yeah.
I think that's the most universally hated of this.
Gag me with a spoon.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's everything in between.
Yeah.
There's your Project Powers and your Old Guards and your I don't know what. Your not Ad Astras, your like Gemini Mans, where it's like you're right in the middle.
Yeah, you're just fine.
You're just fine, and in a way that makes you, the worst.
That makes you...
I don't know. If there was... Okay, I know we've already gone long, but I want to ask one more question.
Sure,
Tom.
yeah, let's do it.
If you could live in... Oh, we saw the Pet Sematary remake. Sorry. If you could live in any of these movies, like physically exist in them, which one would it be?
I mean, the lighthouse, right?
Oh, no, I wouldn't want to live there. Are you kidding me?
I guess
maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Jurassic Worlds, because dinosaurs are there. Are you kidding?
By the way, we skipped over 1917. Jurassic Worlds, yeah, you get to pet dinosaurs. Jesus, is it really Jurassic Worlds? Is that my answer?
Probably.
Yeah, that or Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted's pretty sweet, too, yeah.
Because that's just a world it's just a fun world.
Yeah.
Get to play an instrument.
Travel through time.
Travel through time. Yeah, I guess. Jesus. Or Hobbs and Shaw. Because in the Hobbs and Shaw universe, if you jump off a building, you're fine.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, too. There needs to be a combination of the two.
Yeah. Because imagine what the news is like in Hobbs and Shaw. You don't need movies in that universe. You just go outside with some binoculars and you got yourself a movie.
Movies wouldn't exist because what would they even be?
Yeah. Yeah, what could they possibly be in that universe?
Everybody reads in the Hobbs and Shaw universe.
Yeah. That's a universe where humanity has overdone itself. Like, it's just like, we're done.
That's like the peak of human evolution. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think that's a good place to end it.
I think it is. Yeah, that's our 200th episode. Wow.
That's our 200th episode. We've come a long way.
We have.
It's been, I don't know, like 3 years, 2 years.
15 years, something like that.
Fucking who could say?
We're all grandpas now.
Yeah, but you know what? We should use this point to thank everybody.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thanks for sticking with us.
This was something we started in a very uncertain January 2 years ago. We had no idea how successful it was going to be, or
we had shitty equipment. I think our first episodes were shot on like a snowball mic that we were both talking into. We've come a long way, baby. And you guys have been there for us.
Yeah.
And you've listened to us complain about movies, which I don't know, sounds horrible.
Yeah, I don't know why you guys do that. I'm glad that you do, but
yeah, no. Yeah, I'm glad that
please continue to do so.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, thank you all.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Sincerely.
Yeah. And if you're interested, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. You know it. We have exclusive podcasts there, like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman and Fox Mulder is a Maniac. Woo. I assume the people listening to this specific episode probably know about it, because this is just us jerking ourselves off for almost 2 hours, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a store too, tpublic.com/store/gamefully-unemployed. But you guys know that. If you're here, you know that.
You know all these things. You know us.
This.
You know
it was within you all along.
Mm-hmm. And we know you. Mm-hmm. We can see all of you.
Or we'll be out in the park with our werewolf masks getting ready to teach kids about fear. So
we are forever.